Worksop! Come on, Worksop!
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tiger Talk, the official podcast of Worksop Town Football Club. We're on episode 17 and we are back to one of our usual co-hosts. We hope you had enjoyed the other special with Deegan Atherton, and I'm sure with what we've got on the running list we will talk about him more later. But Luke, how does it feel to be back on the pod?
Oh, great, mate. Great to be back. I'm looking forward to this episode. I think it's going to be another good one.
Obviously, you opted to see just the one goal where I was treated to 8 on Tuesday night. How was it back at Hillsborough?
Yeah, it's the first time I've been since COVID's happened. It was a good game. Wednesday played really well. Missed a bag load of chances as usual, but we clean sheet and we won game against one of the teams at the top. So really happy with it. To be fair.
Yep, I'm sure any of the Wednesday fans that are listening, probably Mick West is one that I know that listens, and we're on a little bit of a playoff push. But they're not the only team in our hearts that are after a playoff push. We have made some ground on the top 5, and that's where we start with today. We're going to talk about the 1-0 victory over Bridlington Town before moving on to the January Player of the Month, who also coincides with somebody that hit 100 appearances on last Saturday, before Luke quizzes me on Tuesday night's game against Lincoln, well, I said before quite a few times there, and then we will look at not only the upcoming Liversedge away trip, but we'll also take a little sneak peek at Pontefract. So let's get into it.
Something tells me I'm into something. Something tells me I'm into something. Woke up this morning feeling fine.
Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside, and we certainly enjoyed it last Saturday. Mind the wind, though. Bridlington Town 0-1 Worksop Town. Obviously, Steve McDonnell, a very informed Steve McDonnell currently, got us that victory. Luke, obviously, we were there. We enjoyed the salty air. I enjoyed my fish and chips pre-match, but let's start with the first half when you eventually got there. We started okay, but we didn't threaten too much, though, did we?
No, it were one of those games where they were making it hard, trying to make it hard for us to play football. The ground wasn't the best surface to play on. The wind was a factor, so it wasn't ideal conditions to play football. But I thought we did create, even though after saying that, I thought we created, certainly in the second half, you could see we were pushing for that goal. It weren't happening, and then you're thinking, is it not our afternoon? And then obviously Macus scores that late goal, and we come away winners. And I think overall, performance-wise, I thought we deserved to walk away with 3 points. What do you think?
Yeah, as I said, I thought we started all right. We didn't. I thought we created the opportunities, as you mentioned. I think Ira Gooder had some good spells down the right. Liam Hardy got on the right shoulder of the defender a few times, but it just didn't. It felt like we were creating a lot of chances, and we wasn't finishing them off. And as we mentioned against Brighouse Town, it definitely felt like more of the same was going to happen again, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought because after that performance, it's fresh off that performance, isn't it? And you're just thinking, is this deja vu again? Because obviously from what happened Saturday before, but luckily we were on the right side of that. But it could have gone either way, because there was a couple of times where they got a counter at 0-0 and they could have nicked a goal, and then all of a sudden we're chasing it and they sit back and defend, and they could have come away 1-0. Things like that happen. So. It was a massive relief when Mac scored, definitely.
We'll not focus too much on that first half, just because I think it could be argued as a little bit of a non-starter. It was mild threatening, and overall the second half was a little bit better. We continued on the front foot. But again, it was just frustrating. Just before we go into the goal, I wanted to bring. You mentioned about Bridlington getting past us a few times, and again, it with that over the top ball through to that Dan Earl. I think we picked him out last time we played Bridlington, and he was fantastic for him then, and he was fantastic for him on Saturday. Seb Malkowski, we mentioned him last 3 podcasts when it's been me, you, and Michael. Just how good was he on Saturday?
Oh yeah, he was brilliant. He made a couple of great saves in the second half, particularly. He made a couple of great saves because and it kept us. It kept us in the game. It kept us going. It got us going. I think a bit more because it was like that kick up the backside to get the ball forward. And I think he's been instrumental throughout the season. To be fair to Seb.
Yeah, it's good to see that he's back on form, back to usual Seb. Them chances that we started to create, you think about the Vaughan chance where he came in and curled it. Hardy chance where I don't know how he did it. We've seen him ghost past defenders at times, but he was the third favourite for that ball. Got there, chipped the keeper, unfortunately hit the upright. Buttroyd then hit the bar from the corner. Ultimately, the corner Vaughan's shot that was tipped onto the post. It was a very unorthodox save, wasn't it, from the keeper? But he tipped it onto the post. They got it behind. I managed to watch the goal back on the VO, and it's such a weird goal because the wind took its part definitely. Ball got swung in. The keeper had to retreat onto the line. It sort of pinballs around. Hardy's shot is thrusted into the air by a save, and then Pico sort of volleyed it towards the back post. It got headed across by Burns, and then Macca was there to head it in. Little bit of live commentary there as my Wi-Fi doesn't work. Is typical, but just that goal was such a relief, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It were, like you say, when you're hitting crossbar and keeps tipping good shots onto the post, you're just thinking it's not going in. This is going to be either we're either going to lose it or it's going to be 2 points drop, because obviously we're wanting a response. But when that goal went in, and you just heard the cheers from the Worksop fans, and you just felt the relief from everyone who was there. Definitely.
A scrappy one, definitely, but we'll take it. We'll take any goals.
Any goals. The goal's a goal, isn't it? End of the day, and that's the 3 points come home wheels, didn't it? So
yeah, and we've talked about numerous times where we seem to struggle against these teams that are up for a scrap in the latter regions of the league, and to come away with Bridlington, it's a good result. Yeah,
it was, because it's at the end of the day, it's like Craig says in interviews, there's no easy games in this league, because even the teams at the bottom, they're fighting for their lives as well. So it's like, they want to stop you from playing football and nick a goal, and it's not easy to break teams down you're playing that a lot of the times in the season. But I just think it was a great win, and it just gives you that belief that we can go on now to get back into the playoffs.
So that, as you mentioned, that win narrowed the gap to 5 points at the time. Obviously, we played a game after that, and we will get onto that soon. But, a win's a win. 3 points, we'll take it. And I'm sure 2 people that were happy with that win were Craig Parrott and Cody Cromack. So here are those interviews right now. So Craig, a 1-0 victory over Bridlington Town, probably a game that lacked quality, but your side got there in the end, a crucial 3 points.
Yeah, it's a crucial 3 points. It's a tough place to come. They make it very difficult for you. They're very good. They are very good going forward. We've seen that now over both games. And today we got a bit of luck, on us in front of the goal, on our goal, and but yeah, good crucial 3 points for us.
Like the last few games, there seemed to be quite a lot of chances made in that first 45 minutes, but no goal scored. Did it start to feel a little bit like that, and how impressed are you that your side got there in the end?
Yeah, I think in the last couple of games, even the defeats, we've had the chance of just not being clinical, and we thought, you look at it today, we thought exactly the same what happening, but they kept going. I think that's the main thing today. We didn't just get frustrated. We tried to keep playing, we tried to keep doing the right things, and it took we've hit the crossbar twice in the second half. It took a set play to win it, and as I mentioned in my last interview, you got to die inside both boxes to win the games, and that's what we've done today, so that's pleasing.
Obviously, your former side, Ponty, have done us a favour by beating Shildon. Obviously, look into the Worksop forward scoring in that one. How important is it to try and, obviously nobody knows how the end's going to be, but just keep picking up wins from our side? That's all we need, isn't it, at the minute? Yeah,
definitely. Like I said, I'm grateful for Ponty doing us we thought that we thought today coming down that we thought that they could have a really good chance in beating Silsden, so we're pleased for that. Hopefully they can do some more favours over the next couple of weeks. The teams are playing, but for us, we just got to concentrate on ourselves. Look, it's game by game. We're going to choose in our, we've got to back at our place against Lincoln. We've got to fight. We've got to, it's coming to a crucial period, so we've got to fight for every single point, and we've got to get to next Saturday with another 3 points in the bank, ready to go into a very crucial part of the season.
Obviously, we talked about our chances, but they made quite a few good chances. But again, Seb made some great saves there. Another great performance from your goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's been class. I think everyone over the last month, I think it's been really good. And today made some vital saves at the right time. But so their goalkeeper, like I said, let's look at the positives from us. So we've hit the bar twice, created a couple of chances. First half we've had there's 2 1-on-1s. So we're creating plenty of chances. Today we've got a bit of luck from a set play, and it's a crucial 3 points for us. But we win together as 11, we lose together, and that's what we've done today.
Deegan obviously made his 100th appearance for the club today. Just how good is it to see him, getting in, the accolades that he does, and the praise that he does? How has it been for whilst under yourself?
Yeah, young Dougie, he's come on leaps and bounds, and he's doing extremely well. He's a popular face inside the changing room. He's obviously a popular face with the fans and everyone. And he's done extremely well. He wants to be really proud of himself, especially at his young age. So we made, the amount of appearances made for Worksop, and may it continue. And I'm sure he's going to have a bright future, at this level or even higher, ahead of himself.
Obviously, during his time, he's probably had to bide his time a little bit in terms of making appearances, but how important is it, like a character like him, whose attitude is that he'll give everything whenever he gets that chance, and he'll just anything for the team? How important is it to have that in the dressing room? Yeah, he's. I think his main strength, what we've seen this year, is that we can put him against anyone on a 1-1 situation, and he doesn't get beat. He's probably one of the best in the league, really, if I'm honest. He's developed into that good in one-to-one defender. So. If we need people taking out the game, we utilise him in that way, and we position him where he can nullify the opposition a bit and stop their key players or their players, doing, because he don't get done for pace. He wins everything in the air, and he's strong for his size. So, another good game from him. I thought he did really well, but I thought all the back four did today. So yeah, it's another good, it's a good defensive display.
So Cody, a hard-fought 1-0 win today. What was your take on the game?
I thought wind played a part in it, but I think first half against the wind, I think we played well. We did some good patterns, some good plays. We should have actually been 2-3 up at half-time, I thought, to be honest.
And Bridlington made it tough, certainly middle of the park. They were trying to win balls and making it hard for us to play. How did you find that? Yeah,
it's always a battle in middle at park at this level. They did give us a good run in middle, but I think overall, us three in middle overran them. We got more at ball and stuff, so.
The goal, it was a very scrappy one, but it kind of a reflection on the game. Is that what was your take on that from the goal?
Yeah, I think if there was to be a winner, it would definitely should have been us. I don't think they created much, and I think we did deserve the win, to be honest.
And in recent games, you kind of switch your position slightly. Do you feel more comfortable in that role that you've done recently?
Yeah, well, I don't mind as long as I'm playing. I'm not bothered whether I'm in the sitting or a bit more advanced. To be honest, I'm enjoying it, playing a bit more advanced. joining in, going forward, getting more at ball as well, because if you can't get the ball when you're sitting, I'm a bit wasted in there, I think. So going forward, it's probably better for me to play a bit higher up.
So we've talked about Bridlington. We've got through that bit. We've collected our 3 points. We enjoyed our day at the seaside. We didn't go on the 2p machines though, Luke, which were a bit disappointing. But we enjoyed the trip home. It was a good laugh on the coach. Everyone was in jubilant spirits. One person that was also celebrating sort of a big milestone for the club, Deegan Atherton put on the Worksop Town Football Club shirt for the 100th time in a competitive game. Joining us all the way back in the summer of 2018 after his release from Rotherham United, a young lad from Parsons Cross who I knew from playing Sunday League with some of his mates. Deegan Atherton turned up for training at Dinnerton High School for his first one under the new management team of Craig Denton and Rob Poulter, who also previously worked at Rotherham, hence the link. So far, then he went on to make obviously 100 appearances now. Me and you have reported on his whole Worksop career, which is, it's been a delight to do. It's a great achievement, and it couldn't, we couldn't be, applauding somebody so more who deserves all this due to his brilliant attitude and stuff like that.
Yeah, since he's arrived at the club, he's been a breath of fresh air. He's a clever footballer who reads the game really well, and he can play the ball out of defence, and he's a fan's favourite, which is great to see. He gives 100% for the club every time he puts the shirt on. I mean, he's been through 3 managers, and they've all liked him, and I just think he's just got better after each season. And I think with Craig, since Parry's come in and we're looking at getting out of this league into the next one, I think he's upped his game, and he looks much more improved than he already was. And yeah, it's great to see him reach that milestone.
He's certainly matured in terms of performance, and I think like you mentioned, his reading of the game is absolutely fantastic. I think he's deceivingly quick. I think he can cover some ground, and his vision is also brilliant. I mean, hence the goal that he scored, the goal that he set up. At Liam Hardy's on Tuesday night outside the football down the line. He's got a little bit of knowledge going forward. But yeah, as you mentioned, he's upped his game every time. You think about the NCL. He was stuck behind Liam Royals and Steve Woollett and Jamie Price until Penistone away. And then I think he started 26 of the next 27 matches, which coincided with the 22 run as well. So he certainly has improved us massively. He certainly became integral to the team. And it was hard to knock him from that spot. The following season, he again lost his place to Ben Rhodes with the step up in quality. However, he stepped up again. He managed to win his place back. Him and Ben also shared, like Ben would play right back and Deegan would fill in at centre half under KJ. And it continued like that through the season. He also stepped up to be captain on several occasions when we lost Danny Patterson. And Vank wasn't available, so Deegan was trusted with that from KJ. And then even the last 2 years, you think, under Craig Parry, he's had to prove himself once again under Jack Greenough, with Jack Greenough coming in and Liam Bateman. Obviously, Deegan's probably been a bit of a benefiter at Liam's injury, unfortunately, because obviously Liam's looked like a fantastic player, but even when Liam's been fit, Deegan's still filled in at left centre half, and he's played all across the back 4 or 5. He's an absolute credit to himself, I think, more than anything, and his mum and his nan following him mostly everywhere. They light up with pride every time he puts that shirt on, and he just loves the club, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I think he's part of the material now. The club, popular face out of the squad, definitely. He's a great lad. He's approachable. He'll talk to anyone, and he's just he's got a good head on his shoulders, and I think he's under some really good guidance at Worksop that's going to make him a better player. And yeah, it's just great to see someone that's that's been at the club for. I mean, he's been there for. I mean, what is it now? 4 years now. So it's good to see that. And it's good to see that. We've got some good players in this squad, and I think Deegan's a big part of that.
And obviously he's getting that run in the side now, and that's also contributed to him winning. And we're pleased to announce, even though if I get my act together, it'll have already been announced on Twitter. He has won the President's Club January Player of the Month. It's been a good month for him. I think there's been a few other players that are in contention, but I think a couple of strong performances towards the end of sort of seen him get his third of the year. So I'm just going to quickly plug the podcast that we did last week. Obviously, we did our first player-specific episode. It's received some really good feedback, and I believe you listened to it, didn't you, Luke?
Yeah.
What did you think?
I thought it was good. I thought he spoke well. I think he's got better with. The more he's spoken to me and you, I think he's got better on the media side as well, which is great. And it was a good conversation. It was funny, and I really enjoyed listening to it.
I think he's come along with confidence as well. He certainly he believes in himself, and he's like, I think just again his attitude is absolutely impeccable. Obviously, I kept pushing him on, how hard it were to come back, and he was saying, sometimes you've got to sit in and wait. And even though there were a couple of, more experienced players in the squad, he had to just learn from them, and so bide his time. And while he were biding his time, he were, getting away in the background and improving himself. So we've had that little plug for the podcast. It's nice, Luke, to see that you're still listening. But we've got him on the pod. We want you, if you haven't listened to it yet, it's been well received. So thank you for that, for everyone that's listened. Obviously, we recorded that on 99 appearances, so we cheated a little bit. So here's Deegan now with, we're just talking a little bit about making his 100th appearance, getting the Player of the Month. And it also leads us nicely into Lincoln United. So obviously the other night, a fantastic victory for us. But let's start at the start of the game. Obviously pre-match he was handed a signed shirt with 100 on the back. How did that feel to get that appreciation from Pete and that?
Oh, it felt fantastic. I didn't know everyone signed a shirt for me, so the surprise was even better. Yeah, very happy and very pleased to get the shirt in front of all the fans.
And obviously we spoke to you last episode on the podcast, so if you haven't watched it and you're listening now, go back and watch it because it's a great one, not being biased or anything. We spoke to you before you made your 100th appearance. Now you've made that. How good did that feel against Bridlington?
Yeah, it felt fantastic. Obviously, after the game, that's when it really hit me about the 100 appearances. That felt good. But during the game, it was just focus on the game, get the job done. Didn't really think too much about the 100th appearance.
So then quickly moving into Tuesday night's match, what were your thoughts on the performance?
I thought we were fantastic. I thought we started the game in the first 20 minutes exactly how we wanted to. Tempo, everything was great. And I think once we were a couple of goals up, I think we got a bit comfortable and slowed down. And then Lincoln got back into it a little bit. And I think second half, we picked it back up and finished the game.
After the last two games where we've not necessarily played bad, but we've created a lot of chances and missed a lot of chances, how important was it to start Tuesday's game emphatically, but also put away those opportunities?
Well, yeah, I think it's always great if you're creating chances, but we just need to take them. But the problem is for us not taking them, but as long as we're getting a chance, we knew we could get results. So as long as we take them like we did Tuesday, I think we'll be fine.
Obviously, we conceded 2 goals, but we were in cruise control pretty much the whole of that match. Just how pleasing was it for us to be that dominant and probably that high on confidence at that time?
Yeah, obviously it's great to be that high on confidence and how much we dominated, but especially as being a defender, it's just not not really pleased with conceding the 2 goals, especially with how we did concede them. 2 sloppy goals again, and we need to try and cut them out.
And obviously, every win is important at this time as the season. But last night were even more important, considering that Shildon lost to Liversedge, which allowed us to close the gap to 2 points. How important was that victory last night?
Well, it's very important. We try and get every win we can, especially at this time of season. I feel we just focus on our game, do what we can do, and hopefully the results go our way. But I feel we go into every game thinking we're going to win, feeling we're going to win. That's the mentality I think we've got to have.
You mentioned about conceding 2 sloppy goals, but I think on the grand scheme of things, I thought the defence, when for the majority of the game or when we were under pressure at several times throughout, were rather sturdy. What were your thoughts on the defensive side of last night?
Yeah, to be honest, I think past few games, I think we've been defending really good, but I don't know if it's just switching off for a split second or something, but we're conceding the sloppy goal and we need to try and cut that out. But like I say, overall, I think we're defending pretty well as a team, not just as defenders, as a whole team.
We mentioned about you receiving one thing before kickoff in the shirt, but you were also awarded the January Player of the Month by the President's Club. Firstly, what is your reaction to that?
Well, I was surprised, like I said, about the shirt. I didn't know about that either, but I feel like a few players probably could have deserved that this month. I feel like we've had a decent month in January, but again, just proud to receive it. Happy to get it.
Yeah, just to hone in on January, obviously it was a big month in terms of we got a run together, a couple of disappointing results in. What were your thoughts on the month as a whole?
Like you say, a couple of disappointing results really, but all thing you can do is try and put that right next game. And I feel like you say, I think we've got a decent run going, and I feel like, especially now in February, I feel like we've got to try and step up and get another run going.
With February, obviously, we've got some really important fixtures coming up. Liversedge on Tuesday night. We've got Mask at the end of the month. Obviously, Pontefract, which will be, it's not just a game, that one. Really, considering the players that we've have played for both sides, it's going to be more of a grudge match. What's your thoughts going into this next? Well, we're already 9 days in it now, but into the next few weeks.
I feel like we've got a few tough games, but I feel like every game in this league's tough. We just got to try and focus on our game, do us, and then make sure we just work hard, battle, and try and play where we can to make the right decisions. I think we'll be fine.
Worksop Town 6 to Lincoln United. All I can say is I was treated to a very, very nice night on Tuesday night, and so was the other 292 people that attended. Let's seeing as you wasn't there, Luke, you deserved a night off anyway. Don't worry. I'll let you have the host seat if you want to ask me any questions, find out about Tuesday night. I think that's probably one of the better ways to go about it than me just speaking for 5 minutes and waxing lyrical about the side. So go ahead.
With an 8-goal thriller on Tuesday, how did the game go? Was it end to end, or was it Worksop dominated the game and they caught us a few times on the counter? How did the game pan out for you for the 90 minutes?
I believe that we were dominant throughout. I think they only got on the good side of us on a couple of occasions. Whether I'm looking at it with rose-tinted glasses or not, but I don't think we were particularly threatened. I think the goals that we did concede were a bit sloppy, a bit switching off. But if you think about the times that we did concede, we were 3-0 up, and then we conceded, and then we were 4-1 up and we conceded, and obviously then we went on to score another 2. I think we was really professional in his approach. I think we knew what we wanted to do and we executed it from minute 1. We kept the ball on the floor. Obviously one of the goals came from in the air, but we managed to just keep possession with us and sort of hold them at arm's length as much as possible and avoid what ultimately happened when we played them away from home.
How did Worksop play as a unit, as a whole side? Was the organisation, structure, communication? How were we on that side?
I think we were resolutely brilliant at the back, apart from the 2 goals. As I mentioned to Deegan, I thought we were pretty good defensively. Danny Burns and Pico won a lot of headers and intercepted quite a few things. Deegan was brilliant going up and down the right, with Buttroyd going up and down the left. I thought we seemed to be a little bit more compact. I don't know if Parry sort of tried to tuck in the fullbacks to make it a flat back four, just to avoid their threat until we took the lead and took a comfortable lead, which was a smart move and probably one that we're going to have to do on next Tuesday night. But when we went forward with such fluidity. I think we were free flowing, and it's really what we needed from the last couple of performances. I think we've been a little bit like statues, and now we seem to have maybe what you'd call probably a drink to take off the edge and loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, nice to see Liam back into the goals on Tuesday night. How much of an impact did he make?
Well, I think we've waxed lyrical about Liam for many episodes now, and even being back in the house at uni and Josh being next door, I've been able to tell him how much I'm a fan of Liam in terms of his overall game. As you may have seen the social media clips, both of his goals were absolutely exceptional. The first one, Deegan obviously put the ball down the line with a bit of a Travella pass, and Liam just, as soon as he got the ball under his control and kept it in play, you knew there was only going to be one winner. It was like a drag race, because he just slowly started to get away from the defender, and he really scampered down towards goal. Could have pulled it back to Vaughan or found Macca, but he kept his composure and just slipped it past the goalkeeper. It was an absolutely exceptional finish. I nearly fell off my chair celebrating, but it was fantastic. But the second one was just that absolutely sumptuous touch. The Pick obviously put the ball high up the field, and he just plucked it with the back of his heel and just got it under control. And just to think about that, sort of when you bring it down, he could easily have either, it could have looped over his head and the defender could have headed it away, or he could have just knocked it behind him. It was perfectly into his path, and then he sold the defender with a drop shoulder, and you just knew it was going to be a goal. The keeper weren't going to save it. He'd come out, but Liam just tucked it into the near post, and it weren't just that. It was overall game. He were dropping deep to link up play, and I thought Vaughan and Ira and Macca were exceptional in terms of the link up play, because it'd be like a little move of Liam gets the ball under control, Vaughan receives it and then plays it out to either wing. And especially when Macca's on form currently now, I know both of his goals didn't come from wing play or anything like that from him personally, but I thought Liam was integral in terms of getting us forward.
And who were the standout performers on Tuesday?
Well, as I think I give my media man of the match on the report to Liam, based on his 2 goals and overall play. I think Macca were exceptional again. His bullish runs, and obviously getting his 14th and 15th goal of the season. He's just a handful at the minute. In terms of other things, I thought Jack Broadhead was fantastic in midfield. I think he's dropped off a little bit in terms of form, but getting another headed goal, it obviously helps spur him up. But I just thought he broke up play before they could even form an attack. He'd won everything in the air. The back four particularly strong again. Seb not really had much to do, but when called upon, made the save. And it's very cliche to say from 1 to 11, but genuinely everyone impressed. And even when Starshenko came on, he obviously set up the goal for Macca's the last minute. Starchenko looked good. Luke Hall got on the ball a little bit more. We saw a little bit how he played in between the lines, and Aaron came on and just helped carry possession forward. And I'm sure he's looking there to just knock a couple of cobwebs off after not playing for too long, and I'm sure he'll be back to his best. But it's really hard to pick a man of the match, to be honest, because it's a team performance. It was fantastic. I even thought about giving myself it.
And after Tuesday's win and getting back onto a winning run, do you believe the momentum has started back into the come back into the side? And certainly with Liversedge round the corner, do you think we can go there and go and get something?
I think we'll touch on Liversedge a bit more in a couple of minutes, but
okay.
The quickly shut there. Sorry. I think the performance was just needed more than anything. I think after two performances where, we remember how electric we were against Sheffield, even though they went down to 9 men. So this game sort of cements that we can turn it on, whether we're playing against 11 or 9. However, that said, the last 2 games, mainly because of the wind, and I don't want to pinpoint that because I think we should have put his chances away and we could have won easily both of the Brighouse and the Bridlington game by more. In terms of the Bridlington game, obviously collected 3 points instead of losing against Brighouse, but it's hard to say because we've been largely inconsistent through the season. But when we do pick up that run, we know we can go and hopefully it just mirrors sort of a Macca run, doesn't it? Is once you get going, it's hard to stop. And going into Liversedge, I think we need to do what we did against Mask, which is take the game to them, be a little bit aggressive, be a little bit naughty, but not in terms of like conning the referee, just being a bit, like you might be top at league, but we're gonna get into you, we're gonna make it hard for you, and I think that's what I think we do naturally step up in them types of games, and considering the league table, because we're recording this on Friday evening. Shildon are at home against Ossett United, who are hovering near the playoffs, but have had a couple of damning results recently, which means they're pretty much their playoff hunt, I'd say, might be over. Now they are the 12 points off, which is not it's not over, but they are struggling. It's starting to narrow down between us as top 6 at the minute. So by the time we play Liversedge, we could be again back up to 5 points, but who knows? If we can get a win, it'll be a massive one in that sense.
Yeah, I think that performance it will. I think we'll go up there thinking we can come away and get something instead of thinking, oh God, we've got to play these again. And we're full of confidence now going into that game. And I think it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. And you never know in this league. There is funny results now and again, so we'll see how we go on.
And as we mentioned, considering how strong the end to the season it's going to be in terms of opposition, I think if we do manage to get into them top 5 places, then we'll have earned it. Just because of things have gone against us all season, but we don't want to pinpoint excuses because there has been games that we have dropped points in where we shouldn't have. So it's certainly going to be an interesting end to the season. And speaking of ends, we're going to end this little bit here with Craig Nope. Going to end this little bit here with assistant manager Luke Jeffs, who spoke to us post-match. So Jeffs, a 6-2 victory over Lincoln United tonight. Firstly, what were your thoughts on the performance?
Well, we set off like an house on fire, I think, the first 20 minutes, and game we kind of put to bed. Conceded a little bit of a sloppy goal that brought them back into it, but we regrouped half time. Paz gave the lads instructions, we've got to do the ugly stuff, and then the quality will always shine through, and that's kind of what happened second half. And to be fair, could have been a couple more. So yeah, ultimately 6 goals, so got to be pleased with that. And then a bit of a break now, move on to Tuesday.
after the Bridlington game and the Brighouse game, how important was it to set off like a house on fire, as you say, not only make the chances but finish them off in that opening period?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, goals win games, and Brighouse and Bridlington were probably guilty of missing chances that would have put the game to bed, which we kind of done today. I think that was the thing that was missing from those performances. But yeah, today, not really done anything that's out of the ordinary, but just 2 good goals from set pieces, a through ball. Liam, obviously, we know what Liam does in that position, that we're off and running.
Just to hone in on that third goal, Liam's goal, just how good was that goal? To the endeavour to get to the ball first, to bring it inside, just a classic Liam Hardy finish.
Yeah, I think Deegan's done really well. I think that's worth a mention. He's played a great little ball, but a bit like with the second one for Liam, that first touch and he's off, and once he gets inside that defender, you ain't catching him. But I don't think it's just that with Liam. I think the thing then is he's got in the box and he's composed, he's slowed it down, picked his spot and just slotted it in, and that's what Liam Hardy does.
And with his strike partner as well, Stephen McDonald getting his 14th and 15th goal of the season, just how important is he to the side currently?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's scoring a lot of goals, but I think the thing with Macca is it's not just his goals, he works really hard, and today his work rate got him in the positions to get the goals, and again, not just a single Liam and Macca out, everyone worked hard today, put a real shift in, and that's why we won 6-2. It's because of the hard work, and it was hard work from 1 to 11, including the subs as well, which all influence the game obviously when they come on.
It wasn't just the ruthlessness from Worksop or getting them 6 goals and the 3 points. The win actually takes us 2 points off of the playoffs after Shildon's defeat tonight to Liversedge, who we play next. How important was it to we mentioned about taking it game by game, but to narrow that gap now, how important is that?
Well, obviously, yeah, we're getting to the business end of the season, and we don't make any secret of it. We want to be in those playoffs. We've given ourselves quite a bit of work to do, but in the last couple of games we're now back in with a shout, and we've got a bit of momentum behind us, and we're going into games with no fear, like today. Not an easy game today. Lincoln are a good outfit. They've had a couple of decent results. We knew it was going to be a difficult game, and we've kind of blown them away, and we're going to go into the remaining games with the same attitude, and hopefully when we get to the end of the season we're in one of those playoffs places.
And we mentioned Liversedge there.
Yeah.
How important is that match, considering how good Liversedge have been this season and obviously our point to prove?
Yeah, obviously it's massive, and I think we're going to go there. We're not going to go there with any fear. We're not just going to sit in and just we'll see what happens. We're going to have a go at them. It's 11 men against 11 men, and we've got some good players, so we're going to go there, try and impose our game, and hopefully we'll get a positive result.
So Jesse spoke about it at the end there, but we do have an away trip on Tuesday night against Liversedge FC. Seeing some of the images from their last home game, it's looking a little bit touch and go in terms of whether it'll be on, but hopefully we can hope for no bad weather and we can enjoy a trip to Liversedge, a happy hunting ground recently for us. We'll talk a bit more about previous games in a second, but they are currently top of the league. They've got a game in hand over second place Mask, and I think they're a point ahead of them. The most impressive stat this season is that out of a possible 72 points, they have taken 65. It's very impressive, and it on the face of it, it's going to be a tough challenge, Luke.
Yeah, I think I'll take a point there. Really, it'll not be an easy game. Obviously, you want the 3 points, but like you just said, they took 65 points from 71, 72, you say something like that, and 72. It's impressive, isn't it? I mean, 7 points dropped. So if we can make that 9 on Tuesday, we're still on an unbeaten run. Yeah, we're not on a winning run anymore, but we get that back hopefully against Pontefract on the following Saturday. So I think we've got to go up there and just be confident in themselves, because we've played some great football and we've got some quality footballers. So it'll be good to test against the best in the league. So it'll be interesting.
Obviously, we took the game to Mask, and even though we came away with a 3-2 defeat, not many teams have challenged Mask like that. And obviously, we did pull a goal back with 10 men when Ben Turner got sent off at 2-1. And who knows how it could have finished if we had had 11 men and maybe a better referee. But we'll not go into some defamation about what we could potentially say about referees at our level. They are a massive threat. They currently have 5 players in double figures at the minute. They've got Ollie Fearon, who Pete will know from his time at Hands of Paramore, who's on 15 goals. Nicky Walker's got 15 goals. Gavin Allett, who we know, has got 13 goals. Ben Atkinson, 12. And Joe Walton, 12. They're a side that can definitely score a lot of goals, and they are currently the top most creative team in the league. They've won the most. They've conceded the least. They've scored the most and they've conceded the least. So, what does our backline need to do in order to keep these players out? Because they're not just maybe I think Nicky Walker, if I can fit top of my head, is not one of these types of striker, but certainly Ollie, Gavin, Ben, and Joe Walton are all big brutes in the air.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think we're going to need to be. His concentration's got to be obviously at the top for 90 minutes, because, like you say, the double 5 players in double figures. I mean, they'll I would imagine be on the ball a lot. So his fitness levels are going to have to be on point, and communication and organisation. I think everything's just got to be at that top level. And I think we've got to. This is a chance for this Worksop side now to prove themselves that yes, against Liversedge we can go up there and take the game to them, and I think we can. I think we're more than capable of doing it. But we've just got to. I think defensively we've just got to. We've got to make sure we make the right decisions, because like we've seen before, you make a bad decision in defence and it can cost a goal, So, and certainly against these players, we're going to have to be on guard of that.
Well, Liversedge travel to Bridlington Town at the weekend, so maybe Brid can make it tough for them, make it hard, and let them knacker themselves out a little bit, and we'll be able to take advantage. But we know it's not going to be as easy as that. We're all saying it in hindsight, and ultimately it's about what you do on the day. Let's have a look at a couple of recent games. I say recent, a couple of years ago now, but our previous games against Liversedge, we've enjoyed several trips up to Liversedge. I'm not sure. Have you been to Liversedge before, Luke?
Yes, I think it was when we was in the Northern Counties, if I remember, because obviously we played them a few times, haven't we, over the years since we've been doing the media. It's like Leeds. We at that time we had, I think, Yorkshire Amateur was up there, and we played a few times. I think we were up there 2 or 3 times in space of a few months, really. But it'll be. I don't think it'll be an easy. Obviously, it's not going to be an easy game, is it? So it'll be interesting.
Obviously, the ground, the pitch, especially since we were in there from 2014 onwards, has been a little bit dodgy. I remember the slip road down to Liversedge is not the best. So it's best to park outside and then walk down that bit, because I wouldn't trust if there were an oncoming car. I think I'd just cry if I were a driver. But as I've mentioned, I think we've enjoyed a couple of good games there. I think on top of my head, the last 5 times we've been there, maybe 5. I think we've won 4. I remember us in that first, obviously as a fan anyway, going there and beating them 4-1. I remember a late KJ winner. I remember KJ's hat trick on the last time we visited there. I think we won 4-1 after being 1-0 down. I think KJ came off the bench, scored a hat trick in about 11 minutes or so. Well, actually, I'm just thinking about it. the two games that we're previewing now, KJ scored a hat-trick against each, so we'll talk about that against Ponte in a bit. But that Liversedge hat-trick were absolutely brilliant. I do remember coming back with Zoe and Lewis Pickersgill and Leaf and Zoe's car breaking down, so that was a very late night coming back and having college in the next morning. But we I do like going to Liversedge because of those memories more than the ground. So, but we'll go there and hopefully we can make some more. Notwithstanding the amount of quality that they have in their side, including a certain Connor Smythe who was impressed so far. So let's move on to Pontefract Collieries. Obviously headed up by Craig Rouse, our former assistant manager, and obviously former assistant manager of Ponte under Craig Parry. The big storyline of the game is obviously that, with Craig Parry going to Pontefract for the first time since arriving at the Tigers. You were at the previous game. What can you remember from that?
It was a very tight game. It had a derby sense to it, because obviously with Craig Rouse, there were Jimmy Williams, Jack Greenow. Vaughan went back to them at that time, so he was playing for them. And it was a real tough game. I thought they could have easily got a draw out of it. They had a couple of chances late on, if I remember rightly. And I'm expecting a tough game. I think they're going to try and make it hard for us to play. They're fighting for the lives at the bottom of the league, so there's that added into it. And then obviously you've got the rivalry between ex-players and stuff, so they'll want to get one over each other. So it'll be an interesting game, and it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. After
Losing 3 on the bounce, they have won 3 on the bounce. They beat Tadcaster 2-0 before helping us out by beating Shildon 1-0 last Saturday, and they also won 1-0 midweek, with Ben Turner scoring that goal, another ex-Tiger, as we mentioned. They play Stockton before we meet next Saturday, which feels weird. It's not having a Saturday game after sort of like a relentless January. Again, just to reiterate, this time I think there's going to be that more of a grudge from Ponte, and I'm sure Craig will want to get one over us. Craig Rouse, will want to get one over us, and continue their good form to ultimately get, forget about the rivalry aside. Their ultimate aim is to get out of them, the relegation scrap at the minute, and I'm sure after knowing Craig, he'll want to do a professional job on us.
Yeah, I think he will. He'll want, like you say, the main thing's the relegation fight to get out of that, and I think it'll give him a sense of pride that he's beat his old manager. He'll want that. I think it'll be a personal accomplishment, I would imagine, for himself. And I just think, like you say, it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, we don't want to be using the student has become the master, do we? That cliche. Yeah. If you look at some of their players, we've mentioned a couple there, but in their last game against Hebburn, Jack Greenough started. Ben Turner, as we mentioned, started and scored. Scott Brown, if you remember the little centre midfielder that used to. I don't think he started for Worksop. Maybe he started one, but he was. I thought I really enjoyed it when he came off at bench, because he was just that sort of bricked midfielder that'd scrap about for everything and win your fouls and win everything on it. And he broke up play well. Spencer Clark, one appearance wonder, lasted about 60 minutes before going off injured for Worksop. They also have Luke Hinsley up top, who I thought was a really good player when he played for us. I think he got a bit unlucky with an injury. And on the bench, they've got Jimmy Williams, who we spoke about a little bit before, about him squirting water at you and Mike that time. So we'll skip over that. But they also have some really good players in there. Nick Guest is a great forward that they can bring off the bench. They've also got Zhao Rangel, who's hard to pick up at times. Obviously Joe Lumsden signed recently from from Stocksbridge, and is just a striker that knows the back of the net. The main thing, though, is playing at Beechnut Lane. It's certainly a tough ground to go to, and they've sort of just made it their fortress for the last 5 or so years now.
Yeah, I mean, when we've played them before, they've beat us. I mean, I remember when they beat us 3 times in that season they went up, and it's not an easy place to go to. It's a tight pitch, if I remember rightly, and I think the crowd gets behind them, so I think they'll try and be the 12th man, and it'll be it'll not be an easy game for us.
So I remember going to Ponty in that first season under Ryan Hindley, and it was a weird game because we went 1-0 up through Alec Denton, and I thought, wow, we're actually gonna pick up a win here. We look really good. It was Alec Denton's first game. We've got a new striker, but that didn't last long because Ash Emmett scored a quick brace, and they were leading 2-1 on half an hour. He was a really good player that night, Ash Emmett. I remember his blonde hair, dyed blonde hair that night. But going on, then we got hit by 2 ex-Tigers and 1 current, as Jack Greenough made it 3-1 before Mark Whitehouse made it 4-1. Now head coach Mark Whitehouse. I think, if I remember rightly, I think it were a wonder goal as well, finding top corner, but I'm sure he'll tell you. And according to Deegan Atherton on the podcast, to plug it again, he's not got as much of a wand as as Luke Jeffs, as he said. And then Mikey Dunn made it 5-1 in the last minute. Really, really demoralising game afterwards. I remember the chairman at the time, who will not mention more than just that, having a word with Ryan only after that game because it was a damning defeat, really. And he started a little bit of a bad run. We then played him in the FA Vars again at Beechnut Lane. Mikey Dunn scoring a brace, and Vaughan Redford, now Tiger Vaughan Redford, scoring the other. Before playing him at home in the reverse, and Eli Hay scored a double. Jack Greenough scored again, and Vaughan Redford scored again. So it's good to have Vaughan on our side this time. But again, it's going to be one of them games where you've got to sort of dig your heels in, fight for everything, and hopefully come away with a victory, whether we have to scrap for it or not. I'm predicting it's going to be like a 1 goal either way.
Yeah, I can see it being a tight game again. I think I can't imagine either team running away with it. We might be surprised by that, but I think it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a great one to watch, and hopefully we can come away victorious. Like you say, we've got Vaughan on our side. He'll want to score, I'm sure, and be on the other side. Be on the other side of. When he's been on Ponty's side when they've scored, and he'll probably want to add more goals with Worksop.
Yeah, there's a lot of bite, and I'm looking forward to it. Not looking forward to going to Ponty, mind, but just because of the past experiences there. I do remember my first visit to Pontefract was in 2015. The reason why I remember it is because it was after Marco Matthias had scored that wonder goal against Leeds for Sheffield Wednesday, and then I can't imagine that what it looked like from away end.
The best thing was there was halfway through singing "Marching On Together" Leeds, and then that went in and it just went quiet. It were that was good goal to watch.
So I remember watching that in the pub with my dad, and then he dropped me off in Pontefract, and I got the bus back, but. That was again. We beat them 7-1 that day. Now Workington, Ruben Jerome scored for Ponty, but Kyle Jordan scored a hat trick. I remember one being like the Jamie Vardy goal against Liverpool for Leicester. It came over his shoulder, and he hit a fantastic volley over the keeper and into the top corner. I wonder who was in the goal. I wonder if Paz and that were playing for Ponty at the time. I don't think so, but I suppose we could ask him. Great research again, Luke. Well done. But also other players that were playing that day. Jack Waddle scored, Mitch Husband scored, and Connor Sellers, absolutely fantastic, tremendous player for us. Bagged a double as we won 7-1. So I think that's probably a nice thing to end on today's podcast. It's been good talking to you, Luke. How's it been being back on it?
Yeah, it's been great talking to you again, Dev. Another great episode with some great content in, and it's been a good one. So I'm looking forward to the next one.
Hopefully, I've managed to get this episode edited and uploaded for 3 p.m. As I planned, and hopefully that's sort of filled in the void of having a Worksop Town game there. Have you got any plans for tomorrow, Luke?
Golfing in the morning, and I'll probably watch football in the afternoon. To be fair, just sporty Saturday. What about yourself?
I am in the press box at Burton Albion versus Cambridge United. My first trip to Pirelli ever, so I'm looking forward to it. Only down the road for me as well, so it's going to be a short one, and I hopefully get back and can have my tea early and get in bed, because that's how we like to roll as students. Are you at Rotherham on Saturday? On Sunday? Sorry?
Yeah, I'm going. I'm sitting in the North Stand on Saturday, so yeah, it'll be. Look forward to it. Hopefully, we can get another 3 points and kick on into the playoffs. Hopefully by the end of the weekend, but we'll see how we go on.
It's the cop for me on Sunday. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it after a couple of weeks not being able to go. But let's stop boring people with Sheffield Wednesday talk and say our goodbyes. Luke, as always, there's one way to end it.
Up the Tigers.
Up the Tigers.